going on? Welcome back to the Friarside chat. As always, we're your hosts. I'm Vince. This is Brandon. Here talking all things Padres baseball. I realize I just pointed up, but you might not actually be up in the edit. You're actually probably going to be to the side if you're if
Hey,
you're
it's been a
watching
while.
on YouTube. That's going to be a little funny looking, but all good, all good. Lots of fun stuff going on in the world of Padres right now. The boys are playing really well. We can't say that too often, so it's a nice kind of change of pace here.
It's been a while. I mean, honestly, when was the last time you were this excited to play the Nationals?
Never a clock.
Never a clock. But
Yeah,
on that point, you know, crazy awesome series. Some would say team identifying series
one of the
potentially.
best of the year so far, man. It's a sweep.
It's
Padres
it
don't get
is
we
a
don't
sweep.
sweep. We're allergic. The boys are
Hey,
allergic to sweeps. They hate brooms. They hate them with a passion. So
hey, hey,
it's
hey,
kind of
hey.
funny to get it.
Easy. They swept the Oakland A's. All right.
Oh, that's right.
Put some
For,
respect on the name.
I forgot the A's
Otherwise,
let us walk them off a couple times.
yeah, well, don't disrespect him. The guy behind you on your background will come to fruition and just start freaking
That's right. Me
crushing
and
balls.
Professor Profar back here. Yeah.
Is this the best baseball team, best Padres team in the last, I don't know, 5 years?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see, 2024. I mean,
An
I mean,
argument can be
on
made.
yeah, for sure. Like, I don't know. I'm getting a lot. Okay, I don't want to say I'm getting like a lot of 2022 vibes because the team is very different, but there are also at the same time a lot of parallels, right? Like, you know, first year, well, not, first year with the club manager, that's the same thing.
Hmm.
You got, right, guys like Profar. So it's like some familiar faces. You got
Jake
like
Cronenworth.
Drake Cronenworth having a great year. Random catcher, kind of just like showing up and make things happen, right? Like we had Alfaro in 2022. Higashioka's getting it done right now. Like, love to see that. So like some unlikely heroes maybe is a kind of a good way to put that. So
Quit beating around it. Are they the best team in the last 5 years?
I don't know yet. Too early. They're okay. What I will
It
say,
is too early.
they're the most fun Padres team in the last 5 years.
Ooh, a lot of people are going to argue with that one.
I think they
2020 was
are.
pretty fun. Slam
2020
Diego
was
was pretty
fun.
fun.
Oh, that's true. But it's also it was too short, and we lost to the Dodgers.
And are you
That's a
high
good
off
case.
this
It's a good
national
case.
series? I
A
mean,
little
if I
bit,
asked you a
but
couple
no,
weeks
even
ago, probably
even
not.
then, I mean, like, look at that Cubs series, like you said, identifiers, right? Like 8-run comeback, come on, and then just like guys like a Profar, all of Merrill's quotes, freaking, like she'll like I don't know, we just have it's a really interesting team identity, and it's certainly more fun last year, results wise, maybe I don't know, like I said, similar to 2022, but still kind of just like more fun in a weird way. You know what I mean? Maybe not on paper as good as some of these other years, but I don't know.
It was a loaded question, but the reason I put that out there is this team doesn't have the same superstar power as it has had in the last 5 years. There's
Yep.
no Juan Soto. There's no real Xander Bogarts this year. Tatis,
Right.
isn't putting the team on his back. Manny's not putting the team on his back.
Because
This is a team.
it's Prof
It's
putting that team on
Profar,
his back though.
Jake Cronenworth at times, Merrill at times,
Merrill.
Higashioka recently.
Yeah.
I
That's yeah.
mean, I mean that's crazy. It is
Yeah.
crazy the production we're getting out of these guys, and they're passing the baton around. And for
Yeah.
many years, it's been, well, if Manny's slumping, I hope Tatis is carrying the weight, or if
Mhm.
Tatis is suspended, Manny's going to have to carry the weight. Xander Bogarts for a period was really hot and carried some weight, but it was like 3 to 4 guys that could do that. And right now we're seeing the
Yeah.
team do it. So
Right.
you talk about this team being more fun to watch, and it's because they are playing like a unit. They're pulling for one
Um,
another, and you feel that through the screen. You feel it at the ballpark, and you've got a new manager that's preaching unity, preaching grittiness, and you hear that a lot. But to see it come to fruition is something somewhat rare to San Diego. We've been a very front-running team. If things are going good, they're really fun to watch. But if it goes bad, turn off this TV because it's only going to get worse.
yeah.
Not the case this year. a lot of comeback wins, a lot of walk-offs. Last year, if it went to extra innings, it was like,
Oh,
"Oh
it
my
was
god,
brutal.
I can't do this anymore. Like, just turn it off. I already know we lost." Versus now it's, they blow the lead and it's
Yeah,
like, well, who's going to step up? And it's not
right.
just, can we get it to the top of the order because they're going to do it?
Yeah.
It's anyone 1 through 9 could be the hero that day. And as a fan, what a great place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we've talked about, with the woes of last year, right? Like it was a lot of looking around for the big four to make things happen, right? Like, and if they weren't getting it done, then no one was getting it done. And then kind of to your point, right? It's like this year, it's partly, I think, guys just kind of fulfilling their roles, but then also it just certainly feels like an air of, I'm not looking for this guy to do it or this guy, like I'm going to do it, and then that this is infectious and each guy kind of carries that attitude with him, it seems like, which I
It
think
also
is pretty awesome.
it also seems that with each injury,
Yeah,
this team believes in one another because they're being asked to step up. When you
yeah,
see
there's
pitching
no
go down,
choice but to.
you Darvish and Musgrove are gone. Hey, Major, you're gonna have to step up. Waldron, who was struggling at one
Yeah,
point, needed to step up, and he has for a long time. And we're just seeing these guys develop. And on the offensive side, Xander down,
yeah,
Manny was down for a period. Tatis is now down, and everyone's stepping up and carrying the weight, and that's just so cool. And as you do that, you now have guys that have been playing throughout the year that otherwise wouldn't, right? When it comes to the
hmm,
postseason, it's inevitable. Someone's going to get injured, someone's going to go down, and you're hoping the next guy steps up. We're getting like trials and tribulations early in the year that are
yeah,
building and paying dividends later in the year because they're going to have that confidence to draw back off of this
right,
first half.
yeah, got some exposure for sure. And yeah, we had mentioned it before we hopped on this call, but yeah, the element too of, right, just the team picking each other up, right? Like so much of the struggles have been offense is clicking, pitching blows it, or pitching is shoving, offense can't score a run, right? And right now at least, and we've seen that, we've had that this year as well. But of late, we've seen just guys picking each other up, both sides,
Yeah,
which is what all successful teams do. It's that mentality of let's pick our guys up, not like, oh shit, why aren't you doing your job? Um, so I
yeah.
love to see that too.
The way I look at it is you can't win 10-0 every game. It's just not going to happen. What you're hoping for is that on the day where your pitcher's struggling, you put up the 5, 6 spot. And on the days where your offense can't score more than 3 runs, your pitching is holding it down. You can't expect shutouts and 10 runs, but you're trying to get it to where your bullpen, has a long enough leash. It's a lot to ask of the bullpen to be perfect on the back half of the game. But like last
Yeah,
night,
yeah,
where they score a grand slam at the end. That ends up being the difference because we gave them that leash. You can't. It's one of those things that good teams do. Know when to give up your runs, know
yeah,
when to really throttle down, and it's not always in your control, but you just got to plan for it, and
mhm,
they're doing it. But can we
yeah.
just please, please, please talk about the most exciting series of a long time?
I
Like, I
was
have
about
never
to say
wanted to
that.
win a game so bad when the drama of Profar was happening. I'm heated on my couch, just losing my mind. And
Yeah,
when the freaking Padres, you've all seen this. I'm not going to break it down too much. Profar gets hit
yeah.
after warnings. Pitcher doesn't get ejected. I
Well,
don't
wait,
just like going,
back it up even further, right? Like it all started with Friday night, right? Like it was back and forth game, super highly contested, and then fastball kind of right up by the dome of Profar,
hey, let's go
shakes
back
him
even
up a
further.
bit, right?
Intentional walk to get to Profar.
There you go. Right, exactly. Which, I mean, I get it. Like
I don't
anytime
want to
someone like
rise at
intentionally
the
walk, it's like it's also like, hey, I need force out of any base. You know what I mean? So there's that element too. But
But
no,
if you've
they're
played the game,
it's true.
if
You
you've
get the
played
chip
the
on your
game
shoulder.
before, there's a chip on your shoulder, especially
Yeah,
when it's
for
an
sure.
underdog who's been overperforming all year. It's like, "Oh, you still don't respect me?
Yeah.
I'm the number 1
Yeah, dude.
voted
He's
all-star right
the
now, and you're
yeah.
still gonna walk
He's
to
the
get to me?"
starting left fielder for the National League All Stars as of right now.
And they're still walking to get to him. So, yeah, the chip on the shoulder, I love it, but he's a
Yeah, for
gamer.
sure.
He
Yeah.
wants those juices flowing. He's looking for that excuse to get the juices up, and
Yeah.
what an at bat. But I'm gonna fast forward because I don't
Yeah.
wanna
No,
break
go
it all
ahead.
down now, but he gets hit. Schilt gets tossed when it should have been the pitcher getting tossed.
Well, right. I mean, the catcher puts his hands on Profar, tells him like, "Dude, we're not going to stand up for that," or whatever the hell it is. I've never seen that before. The catcher like physically stopping a dude from taking his at bat. It's just unheard of. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And then it's like warnings. And then the first pitch, the pitcher beans Profar, and then
98.
Schilt's the one that gets ejected. How
But
does
tell
that make
me
any sense?
but tell me if you haven't seen this since college baseball, Vince. A
Uh,
guy hits a home run,
yeah,
the dugout cleared. They
yeah,
all came out to
yeah,
embrace Machado, the captain. The first time he's come through in a big moment in a long
yeah,
time to that extent. There's been
yeah.
bases loaded. He's been the
You don't
ground
see
ball
that in the
double play
bigs.
king. Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole team goes out and daps him up in front
Hmm.
of the other team because there's just such a big moment. I
Yeah.
had chills. I had literally chills. It brought me back to college days when you're playing
Hmm.
your rival and they're talking about your
All the
girlfriend.
chirping.
And
Yeah. They're bringing
that
up your social media accounts and
oh,
roasting the shit out of everybody.
100%. And then for it to just be the next pitch, I mean, it was
Yeah.
poetic.
It
I
was. You
had
couldn't have
chills.
written it up any better. Like how much took place within the sequence of like three pitches was incredible. Um,
Incredible.
what do you got on I have my take. What do you got on did you see the quote by the Nationals manager? Um, as far as like when they asked him about, this whole catcher stopping and then I have it actually if you want to
So,
hear
no,
it.
I have it. I know the quote.
You got it?
They were
Okay.
sending a message. He pretty much
Yeah.
goes,
Hit the
"Congratulations, you
ball, you
won a
won the
freaking ball
game,
game." Yeah.
but we will not
You
tolerate that. And
you
that's kind
know
of where he left it.
you know what it really is, and it's rare. It's a lack of feel from a MLB manager. I mean,
Yep.
I can understand being upset about it, but to be A, making a comment to the public like that,
Yep.
B, being soft enough to throw at him, and C, having him in the first inning, have your catcher try to say something to him. It's like,
It
handle it
was
somewhere else, or
yep.
just don't be so soft about it.
Or just
You
play
walked him.
better, maybe.
You walked to get to him. You got to
Yeah.
acknowledge that. Be a baseball player. Know that. Know that some people will take offense to that.
Yep.
He was put on his ass.
Mhm.
Legitimately, like you know, hey, get off my plate, B. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah, no,
intentional,
absolutely.
but at the end of
Right.
the day, if I'm getting fallen on my butt and I have to
But
pick
that's what they're
myself
saying,
up,
right? Yeah, same thing saying. Like if the pitch is up there, like, hey, sorry, high and tight, but get your ass
yeah,
back up and finish the at bat kind of thing is what the Nats are
100%.
thinking in that situation, right?
100%. So all these
Yeah.
things accumulate, and I would say most baseball minds know, like, man, he just walked that off, and the stadium's electric. It's bases loaded. These are things we dream of as kids.
Sellout crowd, extra innings.
Extra
You
innings
walk to get to him. It's like, how could a
have
guy
some,
not get fired up about that? You know what I mean? And how could you fault him for doing so?
and mind you, he didn't point into their dugout and go, "You fucking walk to get to me." He was getting up with the crowd, and I can see how it looks like he's talking to
Right.
the dugout because he went to that side. But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, dude, it's a walk off. Don't be so soft.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's just like, it's so funny, right? Like, obviously we love baseball for all its traditions and whatever, but there's so many of these unwritten rules that are up to
That's not
interpretation.
even
That's
one of
so
them, dude.
like,
That's not even one of them. If you walk it off, it's like, if it's really
no, I
egregious,
guess I just mean like if a team will like take something as like, oh, this guy is, showing us up, we're
yeah,
gonna send a message by throwing at him. Like that's what I mean. Like that's kind of the unwritten rule, right? Which
yeah,
is one that I just think is kind of it's just ridiculous. But
sure. But also, if you're gonna do it,
um
how do you do it? Do you sit him down and talk to him? No, the action takes care of it. That's the
yeah,
policing of the game. You
yeah,
didn't see it back in the day where someone
I
stepped
know.
in the box and they tried to have a cordial conversation of, "Hey, man, look, I know you just walked it off, but we didn't appreciate when you yelled it in our dugout." Like,
Well,
no, it's
like
it's hit him, get it over with, or fucking I
do
don't
you
know,
think
let it
that that
go.
is going to like if that same situation happens, right? Like let's say the same shit happens. We're playing the
It
Nats again,
almost did.
same situation, right? And then Profar does it again, walks the game off again. Is you going to be like, oh, I'm not going to celebrate this time because last time they threw at me? You know what I mean? Like that's not going to
Dude,
happen.
I
If
loved
anything,
his
he's going to be more fired up.
I loved his tongue-in-cheek grand slam where he just kinda looked at his dog, he's like, "Hey, yeah, I fucking own them. It is what it is."
Couldn't write that any better. But no, I agree. It was a soft look. It was just a soft. and we're biased, but honestly, I would say the same thing. Even if it was flipped, if the scenario was
Yep.
flipped and the Padres pulled some stuff like that, I'd be like, that is a soft move
Yeah.
by the Padres, you know? So it's like it's not biased in that sense. Um,
Part part of me wishes
yeah.
Schultz stood up a little bit more to call bullshit to Gore being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just hit him." It's like,
I mean,
dude,
there's a small possibility that he didn't do it on purpose.
I don't even care. I don't even care, and I don't dislike Gore, but like, fucking sack up, say that you hit him, and then just walk off the field and
Well,
be
I
a
mean, you're
hero
kind
for
of
your dugout.
if you're him, right? And based off of like how your leadership obviously is takes a situation, like if you're Mackenzie Gore, even if you don't want to, you're kind of screwed. Like you have to. And he's
Mhm.
like, well, shit, I have to. You know what I mean? Like he's put in like a tough position there. You know what I mean?
Did you hear
Like I don't
Scanlon's
envy that. What do you
story
say?
about so he had to hit somebody for the Braves, I believe. This was when it was like Maddox and
Hmm.
Smoltz. So he hits him. The guy charges him. He holds
Hmm.
his ground,
Oh my
obviously
God.
gets a oh dude, he's huge though. Like
I
I'm
wouldn't want
sure
to
he
go after Scan. I've stood next to Bob Scanlon before. He played one of our tournaments, a golf tournament we hosted in college at UCSD, and he's huge, dude. He's
yeah, oh,
massive
I know.
human being. Yeah,
But get
nicest dude
this.
ever though.
I get that from
As
hearing
you
him
can
talk
tell
for
from
the
the
Padres.
broadcast. Yeah,
So, but he gets ejected. He gets fined. And he
yeah.
comes into the locker room the next day, and there's an envelope of cash from Maddox and Company
Oh my
saying,
God.
"We've got the fine covered. Way to hold your own.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. We got you." And I'm like, "That's so badass. I
yeah.
love that. I love
Hopefully
that."
they're reimbursing. Oh, I guess nothing is gonna happen to Gore though, because he didn't
Nothing
even get
happened to Gore. He didn't even
ejected.
get
Yeah.
ejected.
Unreal. Sorry, a little side note on there. I heard, I think it might have been on the broadcast or maybe it was after the game or something, but I guess one of the reporters pointed out that like during the whole scuffle or something like that, I think they said that Hassan Kim and CJ Abrams like had like a fake fight because they're homies from the Padres days.
That's so
So it
funny.
wasn't like necessarily like caught on cameras because they were kind of like away from the situation, but they were like bulldogging each other a little bit. But like it was obviously like they were playing, and I thought that was cool. That was a cool
Here,
little nugget. I wish I saw.
here's a question for you. What's your
Yeah.
take on guys when there's a benches clearing scuffle that are just boys and laughing it up, talking to one another? I'm, like, so torn between I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, they're boys," but, like, the other part of me is like, "Dude, your guy's literally so heated, he's about to, like he wants to kill this guy," and you're just like, "Hey, dog, like, yeah,
I
what's good?"
think it depends. You know what I mean?
I think
Like
I
the
would be one of those
situation.
guys,
I think
but,
I
like,
would
I would
too.
still be upset. Like, if I was the guy heated, I'm
It
like, "Dude,
depends on the
hey, have my
situation,
back."
I guess, right? Like
If
if
hands are
they,
being
I mean,
thrown.
in this case, it like barely hit his shoe tops. He
It
wasn't
hit his
probably in
shin.
really any. Doesn't it hit like the top of his foot?
They kept saying it hit his foot, but it hit
I
his
don't
shin.
know. I don't know. If it was like up towards the dome, closer
Yeah.
area, I would have been a little. It would have been a little bit different. Like, hey, what? Like, come on. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? But in that case, like, I don't know. It would be
There
hard not to act like those guys.
little nuance thing that I thought was kind of cool. I kept watching the replay of this, right? When it started to break down. So he puts his hand on Profar and then Manny
Yeah,
comes in hot.
quick.
And Manny
Man, he was
gives like
ready.
Manny gives like a solid shove to this
Yeah.
catcher. But the minute he shoved him hard, he goes,
He was
"Hey
like,
guys." No, he's like, "Hey, let's break it up. Let's break it up."
yeah,
But he
I saw
clearly
that too.
got like a good push in
Yeah, it
there where
was
it's like,
an
"Hey,
aggressive shove, but he's like, no, I'm breaking it up.
I loved it.
I'm
I
moderating
loved
the
it."
peace. Talk about a guy who's been in a few MLB brawls in his day.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh man. But anyways, we could continue on that, but let's keep this train rolling a little bit. We had mentioned it earlier, all-star Profar for sure. What about the other guys? Do you think so the other guys that are on the ballot, right?
And Oscan.
Rise, Tatis, and Machado. I don't know how Machado got on there. A popular name. I think that's how. I
Uh,
would think those other guys make it.
Machado, no. Fernando would have made it if he didn't get injured. Arias will make it, I think.
I mean, won't he still make it? Because they don't just take three outfielders, right? Like they take like
But he's
I could have
injured.
sworn they take like six.
He's
I
injured.
wonder if he'll just go just for fun because he likes the red carpet stuff. You know what I mean?
I don't know if he makes it. I hope he
I
makes
think
it, but
so.
I don't know.
I think I was just looking. I saw like MLB posted, you know, like current. I think he's still like 4 or 5 in
Yeah.
voting. But right to your point, like the smart thing to do would probably just be to like, hey, All-Star break comes at a good time, just rest. But like I said, I don't know. I feel like if he gets the opportunity to, bust out some freaking
I'd love to
swag on
see
the red carpet,
I'd love to see Arias
he's gonna
go.
do it.
Dude, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
her eyes. Yeah, that'd be cool to see. But yeah, I don't know how Machado's on there. I was looking at some of his stats again. I guess maybe just third base is just weak this year. I guess like it's
Do
so
you even know if
funny,
then
right? Because
Riley's
for a
weak?
while, like third base is so stacked, right? Especially in the National League, right? Like Machado, Arenado, McMahon, who's having a great year, who's not even in the top for voting. Right, Riley up there. Like I don't even know. Oh,
He's
Alec
been playing
Bohm
well.
is the top third base hitter this year, I guess, which
Big
is like who would
he's
have guessed
deserved it.
that kind of thing? Right. Yeah, he's played
That's
awesome. But
legit.
like if you told me at the beginning of the year that, you know,
F
Alec
the
Bohm was
Phillies.
gonna beat out all these other guys, you'd be joking. But anyways, main man though, Profar stoked. I hope he continues, to get these votes and starts. Because I think that would be super, super awesome.
I mean, hard not to. I mean, that's a pretty romantic storyline in itself. I mean, you've got this top prospect who never came to his full potential, and a decade in the league plus, and now we're
So
seeing it. Coming back to a team where he really wanted to be here. Um, I didn't really catch on to this. I remember as a fan being a little discouraged when he left for $500,000 more to go play for the Rockies, especially at a time when Fernando Tatis was coming off suspension, and Profar was someone that he leaned on, and when that stuff hit the fan, Profar was one of the few teammates that really was outspoken about being there for him. He said, "Hey,
yeah,
he's young, he made a mistake, but I'm going
right.
to be the best teammate I can be to him,"
Yeah.
versus the Joe Musgrove approach of like, yeah, we're obviously all really disappointed and like blah blah blah. So
Mhm.
when he leaves during that situation, it's like, hey, you can't really be there
This
for him now,
pillar
can you?
for
Like how much?
Tatis is not there.
And he always seemed like such a clubhouse guy, and he was and
Mhm.
he is, but there's definitely a bit of a how real can it be when you choose to leave for money? And for him to come back for $1 million was his way of kind of putting his money where his mouth is. And apparently,
Yeah.
he addressed the team when he came back and said, "Hey, I really want to be here. I love being here with you
Right,
guys."
and you can see that. I think it's
And
obvious, and when
it
he's
is.
happy, he plays better. It's direct correlation.
And he's been a glue guy in the clubhouse, but it was cool to hear that he actually addressed the entire clubhouse when he came back, because I felt like there was some addressing to do. I think some people were discouraged,
Yeah.
maybe even hurt when he did leave. Um, but yeah, San Diego's
I
his home.
mean, do we know what the offer was to him after that 2022 season? Like, I don't even
He
remember what it was.
he he left 700,000 on the table to make 750,000.
Got it. Okay. So negligible.
Yeah,
But
something like that. Yeah, it was like the
yeah,
same
I
amount.
get it. Yeah, but I get it too. Like, at that point in his career, right? Like you said, he was 8 years in, never quite reached his potential, had a good year in 2022. So maybe in his mind, he's like, well, shit, I need to make as much money as possible, support my family in the coming years, because who knows how many more years I got left in this game. You know what I mean? Like that could have been part of it. And I know, in the grand scheme of things, it sounds like for, baseball, that's a small amount of money, but for us regular people, like that's a good chunk of cash, So that's just
100%.
like,
But
but
he's our
but
guy now.
regardless, yes, obviously very happy to have him back and to have the year that he's having. It's a pretty awesome story. Um, I want to talk next a little bit about some some possible moves, right? So we were rapidly approaching the All-Star break here, and then very shortly after the All-Star break, at the end of July, is the trade deadline. So
This segment's
I,
gonna be so easy for me. Go
I have
ahead.
a feeling that we're going to be on the same page because we were on the same page last year.
We'll see.
Padres are, I'm going to say that they're going to be light buyers, and I'm hopeful that they're going to be light buyers in probably, I mean, both, I'd say starting pitching and reliever depth. And then I could see maybe like one more, maybe outfield spot might be nice for some depth, I'd say. And that's what I would say I would target if we're playing GM at this point of the year.
You ready
How
for
are you
this?
seeing things?
Two things. One, I'm very worried about. Preller. I thought he's made some good moves this year. I've been
Hmm.
outspoken about things that I don't like about Preller, but I will also be outspoken about some of the things that I think he's done a great job on.
Yeah.
The Arias trade has paid huge dividends. I don't know where we are without it, with all the
Right.
injuries that we've had. Him picking up the right veterans in Solano and Peralta,
Dylan
have
Cease.
obviously helped. The Dylan Cease trade
Yeah.
is fine. It's doing good. I wouldn't
Yeah.
put that in. I would actually put that below signing Solano as far as
Yeah.
not bang for buck type of thing. So he's done a lot of good. I do worry that with the lack of success over the last decade, he's kind of on his like, we better win this year, otherwise I might be gone. And
So
anytime
you
some
might get a little trigger happy or something to
a
save his
little trigger
job. Is that what you're
happy,
worried
yeah,
about?
it's a win now situation for him versus a win now situation for the Padres because we're seeing beautiful development with this team. I mean, this is
Hmm.
the first year under a new manager. They're clearly buying into his message, which is what you can hope for out of the first year. Sometimes that's often the first step, right? Is establishing a culture and getting buy-in. It's not so
Yeah.
much about the wins and losses in year one of a manager, but we're getting good production. These guys are buying in. You've got young guys coming up that are major league ready soon, very
Yeah.
very soon.
Yeah.
And I would hate to
Or
see
just
these
such high upside that it's just like,
right.
like that. Ugh,
And
I
I
want to
don't
see
want to see
that.
them
We
go.
don't see that, like Jackson Merrill's the only example we've kind of seen of that. And look how good it's paid off, It's
Exactly.
like,
And he's young and controllable. So
yeah,
for me, it's I hope he doesn't get trigger happy and give away something big to give him a better chance of winning
yeah,
now,
right.
because this team seemingly has a lot of good pieces to build around, and there's pieces we don't even know exist yet that are in our farm system coming up quickly.
Yeah,
So for me, I'm very much of the mindset of hold tight, let this crew do what they're doing, because right now the vibes are good in the clubhouse, and that is
right.
not to be underestimated. I mean, you bring in the wrong guy, and that can really hit the club, or you get rid of the wrong guy and that can hit the club. I don't see him giving away a lot of pieces from the MLB roster, so that piece isn't as big of a factor. But again, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I have faith in the guys to figure it out. I mean, our bullpen has really struggled this year at
Yeah,
times, and frustratingly so. But I think all of their stuff, when right, still plays. And when it's an instance like that, where it's like, hey, they could be really good. We just need to like figure it out. It's a
yeah.
lot different than when you're asking, Despagne to be a starting pitcher every 5 days, or
That's a
uh,
good callback. Holy crap.
Exactly.
That was a
Like
good one.
we've been in that position before.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So that's kind of where I land on it. I kind of want to
Okay.
stay mellow, and if we went out and got a relief pitcher, that obviously would help. I think that's almost always one of the most immediate helps because like the pen isn't solidified. No
Yeah,
one has the eighth
yeah,
inning
for
ball
sure.
or the seventh inning ball every day, no doubt about it. Even Estrada, who has been
Yeah,
so good, has teetered at times. Granted, he's been sick, he's been battling through and probably winning a lot of the respect from his guys. That
yeah.
quote from him, did you see his quote?
Mm-mm.
So he dropped like 15 pounds in the last 2 weeks off of the flu,
Wow.
and he was like throwing up a ton and he wanted to go out and pitch. His velo was down too. So I noticed his velo down and went, "Ooh, what's wrong with this guy?" He pitched like
Yeah.
3 days in a row too, and he's like, his quote was, "If I'm gonna die, it's gonna be out there on the mound." And it's like,
Gamer.
wow, a gamer.
All right.
And there's a lot of that on this team. So
Yeah.
I say stay steady.
Okay.
If you can get a value pick, do it. But I believe in this team, and I don't think
Okay.
there's a rush.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. I was gonna say, I queued up a little game for you, but based off that take, I have a feeling of which decisions you might make, and
All right, go for
so
it.
I'll make it quick. So I want to call this game interested or not interested. All right, basically, you probably already know the premise here. I've got like what, like eight, nine of the um, basically of the players that are on the trading block here from these teams that are already out of contention. I'm going to name some of them off, and I just
All
want
right,
you to give a
it'll be
quick,
fun.
almost lightning round. Interested or not interested?
I'm on
You
it.
ready?
Go.
All right, here we go. We're going to start with the obvious ones, the big ticket items. We're going to go Garrett Crochet. left-handed pitcher on the White Sox, who we saw pitch in spring training. This is
I
the
like
biggest,
him.
probably pitching arm on the market. Interested or not interested? For
I
what
don't
you'd
know
have to
how
give up, which would
I don't
probably
know how old
be
he is.
top prospects in the pitching
Isn't he
realm.
young?
Yeah, he's like 24, 25. It's insane.
Potentially
Ding
interested, but
dong,
no.
ding dong. Not
For
interested. Okay, because of
personally,
what you'd have
no.
to give up, probably,
Yeah,
right?
but not a bad move. Like if he's controllable and young, like
Yeah,
that's one of the better options because we could
yeah. At
use that
least
on our
hear him
system.
out, at least kind of thing. Next one, also on the White Sox, Luis Robert Jr.
Not interested.
Okay, okay. Next, we're moving over to the Oakland Athletics. Mason Miller, closer who throws gas and has been unreal this year. It's a
I
fun
really
one.
like him. I like him a lot. I don't like the price tag at all. That's an easy pass for me. They're gonna want too
Yeah,
much for
I was
him,
gonna say
and
he's
they
the
should.
hot ticket this year, and it's like he might be good for a while, but it might just be a fluke too. You don't know.
Oakland should get everything they can for him because I have a
Yeah,
feeling it might be
absolutely.
flukish.
Yeah, absolutely. And some people, some teams will give him quite a bit for them.
Yeah,
Brett Brent Rooker on the Oakland Athletics.
I like Brent Rooker. The
I
thing
like him
is,
too.
I really
Doesn't
like
really have
our
a
outfield.
need on the Padres, maybe.
No,
So,
not a need. And plus our
yeah.
outfield's good. This outfield that was very ragtag to begin the year. You know, you didn't
Mhm.
know if Merrill could hold down center field every day. Has been great.
Yeah.
And Profar has been an all-star. So next.
Next, Miami Marlins. Tanner Scott, relief pitcher,
He could be the price might be right
closer.
on him.
Right? I kind of like that one. Of all the options out there, that one's kind of up there. We've already done a deal with Miami with the Arise thing, so we already have that relationship. I think that's an interesting one.
For
And
the
the other
right
one,
price, I like that one.
yeah, so we're gonna do him. I was gonna put Jazz Chisholm there, but I that's gonna be
That's an easy
not
no.
interested.
Are they gonna take Bogart's contract?
I know. Okay, these ones are kind of interesting. Colorado Rockies. Would you Quantrill, former Padre? Any interest there?
So, fun fact about him: I've got a buddy who's close friends with Austin Hedges, and he talked about his time playing with Cal Quantrill on the formerly known Indians Guardians, and he said that this guy is the biggest competitor he's ever played with. Where once he
Having a
steps on the
great year
field,
too.
he becomes a different dude. Like he's
Yeah.
very like gamer guy, but then
Mhm.
he steps or my bad, like video games. And then he gets on the field and
Oh,
he's a
okay.
true like
Hey,
boom,
yeah,
who is this? Who's this new
competitive
person?
focus kind of thing. Yeah.
Um, I like Cal Quantrill. I think
Interested,
he
not
could be
interested.
really useful. I'm interested.
Okay, cool. I am too. I kind of like that one. Kind of like almost like an under the radar pick. Also on the Rockies, left-handed relief pitcher Jalen Beeks.
Don't know him well enough.
Okay.
I
He had a
should.
lot of
It's been a while.
success on Tampa Bay for a couple of years, and then I don't know how he's doing this year, but he's on the Rockies and he's on the block as well. But
Is that
pass,
your
I
last
guess,
one?
for you. No, I got two last ones. Uh, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Taylor Ward, utility player.
Pass.
Pass, not interested.
He's a veteran,
And
and I don't
he's
think
always
he's worth the
surprisingly
trade.
good with the bat, but yeah, I don't know. Fits kind of weird. Last one, Tyler Anderson, starting pitcher for the Angels, lefty, having a really good year.
No thanks.
No? So,
No.
okay. So just to recap then, the only ones that you said interested were Tanner Scott, Cal Quantrill, and maybe Crochet, depending on his price.
Yeah. Yeah, Crochet, I don't know what his contract is. If it's cheaper, that is
Yeah,
something where you might give up some because you're already locked in so long with you and Musgrove. So like getting a good arm that can hold it down for a couple of years while you're paying those big contracts could be worth a prospect or two because it's like he's he's doing it already.
boom. But yeah, that's all I had. So that is interested, not interested. You're mostly not interested.
I like our team. It's a
Yeah,
testament to
no,
our
I
team,
get it.
really.
I get it. I get it. I think, yeah, of anything, like I like your picks though from the guys you put there. I think those guys fulfill the need the most.
I mean,
Um,
look at the
yeah,
fans, dude. The fans love this team when they're going right. they're a head scratcher from time to time, but like these are good dudes. Like I love watching this team play baseball.
All right, so the Padres currently sit at 44 and 41, above 500. Love to see it. We're going in to play Boston next for three. That's a hot team, and then over to the world champ Texas Rangers. So that'll be next up on the docket. I think it'll be really fun games. And Boston should be highly competitive, and then Texas, I feel like it's just a super wild card. It could go so many different ways. Um, but I
Here's a
mean,
question.
team's been playing. What's up?
Are we gonna be over 3 games over 500, or are we gonna be at 500 or 3 games below? I feel like that's our spectrum of the whole
After
year.
this six, so let's see, we're
Yep.
two up right now, or no, three up right now. So we'd have to play pretty bad to be under. I'm gonna say we're gonna be over 500 when it's all said and done. Give me two. I'm gonna say they're gonna take two games from each. They're just gonna win each series.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
On the road. I can't wait to
Hmm.
watch them play in Fenway. We don't get to watch them play at
Yeah.
Fenway too
Too
often.
bad Bogarts isn't playing, but oh
Yeah, no
well.
kidding.
Oh well. No
All right.
reunion for him. But anyways, that has been Friarside Chat. We're so happy to be back. We'll hopefully do another episode here before the All-Star break, and hopefully we have a lot more positive news to report back on the next one. But until that time, again, I'm Vince. This is Brandon. This is the Fireside Chat. We will catch you all next time. Thanks for joining us.
Go Pods.
Yeah.